Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And today we're going to continue to explore the effects of blue light. You've probably heard about blue light. Mainly we talk about blue light because it's supposedly harmful to you if you use devices such as a smartphone or a tablet computer or even your PC, or even if you watch TV on a big screen. Yes, that blue light may be harmful. As we said before, though, it's kind of new. Computers haven't been so prevalent in our lives for so long, so we really don't know if blue light affects us. We need to have some long-term studies, but still there are people out there that are saying, well, you better watch out. Maybe it's better to be safe than sorry.
So we're going to talk about sleep and how all of these things are connected. This is the most interesting part to me because sleep is essential. And as you get older, it's harder to sleep well. And if you don't get enough good sleep, it harms your health. Your chances of having heart problems, cancer, diabetes, they all go up if you don't get enough good sleep. So let's get started. Tom's going to read through day 2.
Sleep no more. Blue light does murder sleep. Our bodies follow a circadian rhythm, a 24-hour cycle of physical, mental, and behavioral changes triggered by natural light. Blue light, which is stronger during the day, helps us stay awake, while the redder lights that are more common in the evening activate our sleep response. They cause our bodies to release melatonin, a hormone that induces sleep. However, the blue light from our devices disrupts our circadian rhythm and causes our bodies to produce less melatonin, which leads to disturbed sleep. In turn, this causes further health issues, including an increased risk of breast and prostate cancer and a reduction of leptin, the hormone that makes us feel full. Banish the blue light blues. So how can we reduce the detrimental effects of blue light? It can be as simple as adjusting the settings on our devices to a night mode or purchasing a blue light filter for our screens. It's also important to take breaks to reduce eye strain. Most importantly, though, we should reduce blue light exposure late in the day by putting our devices down. Blue light bonuses. Blue light isn't all bad. As stated above, blue light does keep us alert during the day. It also boosts our memory and other brain functions. Furthermore, blue light therapy is one of the main treatments for seasonal depression, as it gives our bodies the alertness-inducing light we need. Blue light is also used to treat skin problems, such as skin tumors. The take-home message is, be aware of what blue light can do. While it won't necessarily damage your eyes, it'll certainly mess up your sleep. Okay, everybody, let's talk about the contents of today's lesson. Again, we're exploring the effects of blue light. Now, our first section today is talking about blue light and the effect it has on sleep. Sleep no more, blue light doth murder sleep. That is a reference to Shakespeare's Macbeth. He was feeling guilty because his wife, Lady Macbeth, encouraged him to kill the king, and now he's feeling guilty. That's another subject for another day, but our writer here very cleverly has used it as a title for this section in our article. Basically, it means blue light will disturb your sleep. You won't sleep as well if you're exposed to blue light all the time, especially if it's at night.
So here it says our bodies follow a circadian rhythm. What is that? Circadian means something that's in biology. So if you've had biology classes, you've probably come across this term. Circadian rhythm is just something that's recurring naturally on a 24-hour cycle. So this has a lot to do with what happens every 24 hours. And depending on the light that you're exposed to, it will actually trigger things in your own body that will make you either less sleepy or more sleepy. So this circadian rhythm is very important. So we've got a 24-hour cycle of physical, mental, and behavioral changes. Behavioral just means your actions. So these changes are actually triggered or set off by natural light. So one of the things I have to do is if I end up having to stay up really late to work, which I hate because I'm an early bird, I have to close all of my curtains. I have to wear 2 eye masks. I have to get my room as dark as I can because I actually have a very bright room. I have lots of windows. So Taiwan has a lot of sun. So it's hard to sleep past, I would say, like 5:30 in the summer and 6:30 in the winter because once that sun comes up, Stephanie's body wants to get up. But if you go to bed too late, you're not going to get enough sleep. So that light that we're exposed to, natural light especially, determines whether we sleep well or we don't.
Right, and of course, artificial light has made people stay up later in the last 100 years or so.
Sure.
So that might be having an effect on our health as well. So yes, it's a good idea to be an early sleeper, early to rise. Or is it early to bed, early to rise makes a man or a person healthy.
Wealthy and wise.
Wealthy and wise, yeah. I almost forgot that phrase. But in any case, we are talking about this circadian rhythm, which means a rhythm that happens throughout the day. And it's a 24-hour cycle of physical, mental, and behavioral changes triggered by natural light. So behavioral has to do with your behavior. But indeed, these cycles are triggered by natural light, not so much by artificial light.
So blue light is stronger during the day. And that makes sense because that's when most people are up and busy. They're working, they're going to school, or they're outside exercising. While the redder lights, remember this is a spectrum of lights. You go from one end to the other. The redder lights are more common in the evening, and they activate or set off or trigger. You could use any of those verbs. They set off, activate, trigger our sleep response. They get it going. They get it moving.
Right, so blue light is natural during the day. It keeps us awake, and red light tells us to go to sleep and dream and be ready for another day in the morning at about, say, 6 a.m. or so. Most of us wouldn't want to get up that early if we didn't have to. And, of course, they cause our bodies to release melatonin, a hormone that induces sleep. So here we're talking about redder lights, which come from various sources at night, and they're more common in the evening, and they activate or make active our sleep response. In other words, it kind of turns it on, the red light turns it on, and therefore we start to feel drowsy, and we want to go to sleep. Now, again, the red lights cause our bodies to release something called melatonin. Maybe you've heard of that. It's a hormone that induces sleep. So here we've got the verb to induce, which means to cause something to happen more easily. It influences you. It brings about this situation. And, of course, you probably are going to feel tired, and you'll finally put that phone down and get some shut-eye.
Right. I learned something interesting this year is that kids have a lot of natural melatonin in their bodies. That's why they're able to sleep so long and so well. Whereas adults, as we get older and older, you don't have as much melatonin being produced in your body. So my doctor advised me to add a little bit of melatonin to my list of medicines that I take before I go to bed, and that helps me sleep a little better. We do use this word induce quite frequently if you're talking about a woman who is pregnant and she's just about ready to have her baby, but sometimes that baby just doesn't want to come. And so the doctors will induce labor. They'll get that, they'll give her some sort of drug that makes her body start to go into labor because her natural reactions aren't working well enough to induce. Induce also means you can persuade or influence someone to do something. What do I need to do to induce you to sell those tickets to the concert to me? So you can persuade someone to do something, succeed in doing it if you can convince them. Now, it says here, however, the blue light from our devices, we talked about these devices in our lesson earlier, it disrupts our circadian rhythm. Remember, to disrupt means to stop something from happening naturally or the way it should. So it interrupts something. So disrupt, interrupt, they're very similar. And it interrupts that 24-hour rhythm that happens in our bodies and causes our bodies to produce this wonderful hormone, melatonin, which if it leads our bodies to or causes our bodies to not produce enough, that's going to lead to disturbed sleep. You're not going to sleep deeply or have that REM, where you're dreaming at night. That helps your brain and your memory. It improves it. So if you don't sleep well, you'll wake up the next morning and you can't think clearly. You're tired. You're kind of in a bad mood. All those things happen because you didn't sleep well.
Right. So if you have less melatonin, it will lead to sleep patterns being disrupted, and you'll be waking up at, say, 2 or 3 in the morning, and you won't be able to get back to sleep. In turn, or as a result, this causes further health issues. So yes, indeed, if you don't get enough sleep, that's going to cause other problems, and those problems include an increased risk of breast and prostate cancer. That's no good. Women tend to get breast cancer more than men do, and men get prostate cancer more than women do because men have a prostate gland, women don't. So those are pretty nasty forms of cancer. If you discover prostate cancer, it's probably going to be too late. You're going to be a goner. And, of course, it also leads to a reduction of leptin. What the heck is that? Well, that's a hormone that makes us feel full. I guess that refers to when we eat. So if you have that hormone, it will make you feel full, and you won't stuff your face silly. So there you have it. If you stay up late playing on your smartphone, you will eventually get fat. It's kind of a stretch there, but that might be what they're trying to say here.
Yeah, this leptin is really important, especially if you're trying to lose weight. You want to sleep well in order to lose weight and just feel better about life in general. We're going to listen for a bit to our Chinese teacher, and then we'll be back.
Hello everyone, 我是派老师。今天讲解的是12月14 Unit 6 Exploring the Effects of Blue Light 第2天的课程。我们昨天讲到说，蓝光会对我们的眼睛造成伤害，此外也会影响睡眠。而今天的课程呢，就有一个段落比较深入的告诉我们，蓝光是如何影响我们的睡眠的。那当然，光知道蓝光可能造成伤害，我们还得懂得如何避免伤害。此外，蓝光其实也不是只有害处的。好，那我们来看一下第一段的学习重点吧。请同学看到第一个句子。第一个句子呢，这里要请同学特别注意到，原来啊，我们的行为会有一些改变，生理、心理，还有呢，行为有一些改变是由自然光所造成的，所引发的 changes triggered by natural light。那请同学特别把 triggered 画起来。Triggered 就是呢引发。那再来，请同学看到第二个句子。那同学特别注意到 while 这个连接词，它常常呢都是两边有鲜明的对比，所连接的两边有鲜明的对比。前面这个子句是说，白天中比较强的蓝光可以帮助我们保持清醒，而晚上更常见的红光则会触发我们睡眠反应。好，再来请同学看到第三个句子。那在句子快结束的地方有讲到，有一种我们身体所分泌的荷尔蒙，它是会引发我们睡眠的，会让我们想睡觉 induces sleep。 那请同学特别注意这个动词。那再来请同学看到第四个句子。如果我们睡不好，我们可以说怎么样呢？Disturbed sleep， 那倒未必呢是 insomnia， 不见得说真的是失眠。说睡得不好，我们就可以说 disturbed sleep， 有这样子的问题。再来，请同学看到第5个句子，蓝光还有个问题就是呢，它可能会增加一些什么罹癌的风险。所以后面我们看到 an increased risk of breast and prostate cancer。所以啊，原来过度暴露蓝光可能会有其他的健康疑虑。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, let's move on and continue to talk about blue light and how harmful it can be at night. It's not harmful during the day. It's actually good during the day. It keeps us awake and probably makes us less depressed, and we talk to people more easily, and we're more successful in school and at our jobs and stuff like that. But too much blue light at night can cause problems, and it messes with our system. It screws up our circadian rhythms. It releases melatonin, at least the red light does, but the blue light reduces melatonin, and that disrupts our sleep, and we're going to have problems as a result of that, like a risk of breast and prostate cancer, and then we won't have so much leptin, which makes us feel full, so theoretically, we'll start getting fat. Okay, moving on now to the next title here, Banish the Blue Light Blues. In other words, let's try to make things better and not rely so much on blue light at night, because blue light can be harmful. Let's make blue light less harmful.
So what does banish mean? When I read this word banish, it kind of takes me back in time. Before, things were quite modern, and we had kings and rulers like that. If you did something bad, sometimes you were banished from the kingdom. They sent you away. You could never come back. So we don't use it so much anymore, but we use ban, B-A-N, quite often, right? Where someone decides something is inappropriate and they say you cannot use this or watch this or read this or say this. But banish, it's kind of fun. It's kind of, because I love books that are written maybe like in the 1800s, 1700s, in that period of time. And they used to banish people. Yeah, get rid of them. It didn't mean kill them. It just meant you could no longer be somewhere. They wouldn't let you come around. So we're going to banish the blue light blues. Blues here just means kind of the depressed feeling you have when you're not so happy. And if you don't sleep well, sometimes you get a little depressed.
Okay, so how can we reduce the detrimental effects of blue light? Detrimental just means harmful here. So how can we make blue light less harmful? Well, it can be as simple as adjusting the settings on our devices to a night mode or purchasing a blue light filter for our screens. Notice here the writer is not telling us to put down our screens and not look at them. We can adjust the settings on our devices to a night mode. That would be in the menu there somewhere. It might make the screen darker, or it might produce a natural filter for blue light.
Do you do that, Tom?
Not really. No, I don't really do anything like that because I don't think I spend that much time on my phone. Although sometimes I do think I'm using it too much. But here we've got the verb to adjust, and that just means to make changes to something so that it performs better. If your glasses, for example, don't fit well, you can go to the optometrist and they'll adjust your frames so they fit better on your face and they'll be more comfortable.
So you can adjust the settings on your devices to a night mode. I don't do that. I haven't done that. But you can also purchase a blue light filter for your screen. And I've seen these for sale sometimes I go walking around to see if I can get a good deal on a new laptop. And I've seen some of these screens for sale, and I just kind of roll my eyes. Maybe they're good. Yeah, you should check it out. See if it improves your quality of life. If you purchase something, it just means you buy something. So it's also important to take breaks to reduce eye strain. That I understand. Even when I read a lot and just, on my Kindle, my eyes get tired and a little blurry. My eyes get tired if I read real books for long periods of time. When I was in grad school, oh my goodness, so many books to read. And I felt like my eyes were really blurry. And I've always had 20/20 vision, which means they're perfect. So I was a little bit upset by this. I'm like, what is going on? Just see how spending too much time on a screen affects your own eyes. And if you feel any sort of strain, then stop doing it.
Indeed, and this is related to the problem of looking at things that are too close to you for too long a time.
Remember when we were growing up, your parents would say, get back from that TV, you're too close to the screen.
Or they'd just tell you to go outside and play or something so you could look at the clouds or the distant mountains or whatever.
So pretty.
And yes, I believe I heard a story about somebody who lived in Australia and they didn't wear glasses their entire life, and they came to Taiwan, and about a year or so they had to wear glasses because they were always reading books and studying and stuff like that. So yes, indeed, take a break, look at the mountains, look at the sunset, and don't keep looking at things that are so close to you all the time. And most importantly, though, we should reduce blue light exposure late in the day by putting our devices down. That's the simplest solution. Put those devices down and reduce the blue light exposure that we get late in the day. Exposure just refers to when you are close to something and when it affects you. Exposure to harmful substances, for example, or if you live near a nuclear power plant, you might be worried about exposure to radioactivity. Or your parents might worry about your being exposed to bad kids in school. They're influencing you in bad ways. They want to take you out and smoke cigarettes and things like that. So yes, that's a bad exposure. Or you can talk about photographic exposure, exposing the sensor in your camera to light and how you adjust the aperture and the shutter speed and stuff like that. But yes, we should reduce our exposure to blue light, rather, by simply putting those devices down. But my question is, then what are we supposed to do? If we put our devices down, what can we do? Just sit there and stare at the wall or something?
No, we should go outside and be in nature.
Go for night walks. Yes, indeed. There are lots of people who go down to the local park and go for strolls, take the dog for a walk or whatever. Indeed, that's good advice.
So moving on to the last part here, it says blue light bonuses. What are some bonuses we get from blue light? So what's a bonus? A bonus is usually something that's added to what is usually expected. So sometimes department stores have these great sales, and you go and you buy a product, and as a bonus, you get a free gift. Maybe it's the cosmetic counter. They give you a free tube of lipstick or a free cream to put on your face. That's a bonus. So we also get bonuses at work. If you do a good job at the end of the year, you get your year-end bonus if you've been a really good employee and done very good work. So what are the bonuses from blue light? Well, it says blue light isn't all bad. As stated above, blue light does keep us alert during the day. It keeps us awake. Yeah, it'd be hard if you felt sleepy the whole day. And we've all experienced that at some point because we didn't get enough sleep the night before. It's kind of painful.
And it also boosts our memory. It improves our memory and other brain functions. So yes, get out in the sunlight and expose yourself to blue light, and you'll be smarter that way, and nobody wants to look stupid. Now, furthermore, blue light therapy is one of the main treatments for seasonal depression, as it gives our bodies the alertness-inducing light we need. Yes, sometimes, especially during the winter, people kind of get depressed because there's not enough sunlight out there, so blue light therapy is a treatment for seasonal depression. I guess they can produce that blue light artificially during the day so that you're not so sad during the winter, and thus also will be more alert as a result of that. And again, blue light is also used to treat skin problems such as skin tumors. A tumor means you have some kind of uncontrolled growth of cells, which means you might have cancer.
It can be non-malignant, which my brother had one. He had a big golf ball-sized tumor in his neck.
Wow.
And the surgery they had to do makes it look like somebody cut his throat.
Gee.
Yeah, but it was not cancerous, so we were really happy. So yeah, you want to avoid some of these bad things. The take-home message, what's the final message? What does our author want you to remember from all of this? Well, you need to be aware of what blue light can do. It won't necessarily damage your eyes, but boy, it'll mess up your sleep or mess with your sleep. Sometimes we'll say that as a slang. Oh, stop messing with me. Stop messing with me, which is kind of teasing somebody. But it could mess up your sleep for sure.
Okay, that brings us to the end of our discussion for today. Let's turn things over now to our Chinese teacher.
好，请同学看到第2段第1个句子。接下来呢，我们就知道说，蓝光它有不好的影响，我们要如何去避免？我们来看第1个句子，这里有 detrimental effects。detrimental 这个字看来有点难，但同学呢可以学着去辨识，它其实就是 harmful 的意思。再来，请同学看到第2个句子之后，是告诉我们如何避免蓝光所造成的负面效应。我们可以去调整我们所使用的电子装置它的设定 ，adjust the settings on our devices。那怎么调整呢？改成 night mode， 改成夜间模式 to a night mode。然后呢，这样子很好以外，我们当然也可以买一些装置，绿蓝光。We can purchase a blue light filter， 就是绿蓝光的相关的这个装置。好，再来，我们请同学呢看到第4个句子。那还有另外一个方法可以避免蓝光的负面影响。We can reduce blue light exposure， 那就是尽量减少呢接触到蓝光 ，reduce exposure to blue light， 那就是把手机放下 ，put our devices down。OK， 所以就是减少呢，去尽量不要一天到晚都看手机或者看平板。再来，请同学看到第3段的部分。那蓝光并不全然都是坏处而已，蓝光呢，其实也可以让人保持比较清醒。Blue light does keep us alert。我们都知道说 alert 其实就是一种清醒、保持警觉的状态。再来，蓝光也有助于提升记忆力 ，It also boosts our memory。再来，请同学看到第4个句子，蓝光还可以用来治疗忧郁症，季节更替所造成的忧郁症。那这里就讲到 one of the main treatments for seasonal depression。原来有所谓的 blue light therapy， 蓝光疗法。再来，我们看到第5个句子，蓝光也可以用来治疗皮肤的问题，像皮肤的肿瘤。It's also used to treat skin problems。这里的 treat 就是治疗皮肤的问题，像什么呢 ？Skin tumor， 皮肤的肿瘤。最后，请同学看到第4段 ，the take-home message， 请同学把 take-home message 画起来。我们知道，这个就是作者希望大家谨记在心最重要的讯息了，是什么呢？ Be aware of what blue light can do。大家要小心蓝光可能对我们造成的影响。While it won't necessarily damage your eyes， 不见得说一定会伤害你的眼睛，但绝对呢会影响你的睡眠 ，mess up your sleep。好，以上就是我们针对蓝光对身体影响的这篇文章第2天课程内容所做的中文讲解。谢谢大家。
Well, thanks for joining us, guys. Check this out. Do some experimentation with blue light on your own eyes, on your own body, and see how it impacts you. And then make good choices. That's what you got to do. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tom. Goodbye.
Bye.